everybody. So back at San Diego Comic-Con in the super secret room inside of a booth
This
in
is
Image.
like the ice box.
Yeah.
This is, the secret
This
clean
is like
room.
an ice box.
I'm going to manufacture, like, microchips in here.
This is like the only thing that's breaking up the white monotony in the room, or else you would think that we're super insane right now.
Exactly.
And I'm going to talk with Mr. Sam Humphries. Let's have you introduce yourself a little bit.
My name is Sam Humphries.
Very to the point, and that's why you're a creator.
I'm efficient.
You're efficient
Yeah.
and everything. So you're here to talk about Blackbird.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the thing that got to me, and I hate, I feel kind of silly saying it, but
Okay.
it was what Harry Potter meets Riverdale.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Please expand on that description. I am so
This
intrigued.
is like our previous version of that like wasn't as good and snappy. It's like Harry Potter for people who can get into a bar. So it's like either you're old enough to drink or you're like good enough to get a fake ID. Like so.
Which I feel like the first wave of Harry Potter fans are like way old enough now to get.
Oh,
into
absolutely.
bars.
Yeah. This is, I mean, it's a lot of things that Harry Potter is, in a very broad way. It's a coming of age story. It's magic. It's friendship. Like all that kind of stuff. But it's also, hot people making out with each other. I talk a lot about how we wanted this book to be like CW trash. Which is a term we use with love and affection and respect.
And you mentioned Jen, which is Jen Bartel, the artist.
Yes, Jen Bartel, my
the
co-creator.
comic.
Yep.
And I'm not familiar with gender, but it looks like her aesthetic is very neon, very cute, almost like gritty kind of.
Yeah, I forgot how she describes it, but something about like Lisa Frank on acid or something like that, or I don't know. Yeah.
Lisa Frank on acid.
But yeah, I mean her artwork is gorgeous, but this book came out of conversations that she and I had together when we were talking about things that we wanted to see in comics, things that we want to see more of in comics, and eventually we were talking about doing a book together. And one of the first things I said was, "What do you want to draw?" And she wanted to draw spectacular magic stuff, things that I can't spoil. I'm saying stuff, but it's a lot of cool things that we got coming up.
So you guys, from the get-go, created this together. It wasn't like you had the story and you saw her out. It was like
this is a fresh concept.
Organic, from the start up.
We had been friends, and we had kind of talked about working together, and then circumstances matched up, and we got serious about it. And then we talked about what she wanted to draw, and she's talking about beautiful people, magic. Grounded in the real world, and neon-drenched cityscapes and all this kind of stuff, and we're talking about it. It's coming together in my head, and I'm like, this is a comic I would read.
Nice.
Yeah, and I kind of gotta be psyched to make. So.
Now, the only two things I know about the comic,
Okay.
I believe there's a main character named Nina.
That's correct.
And it's set in Los Angeles.
You're 2 for 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Nina? I'm assuming
Yeah.
she's the main character.
She's the main character. She's a character who believes in magic. She had a formative incident in her childhood, and ever since then she's believed that magic is real. It exists in our world, but it's just always around the corner. It's always just further than you can reach. It's just something that you can never quite touch, but it's there and exists. She's spent most of her life being told that she's crazy.
As we all are.
Yeah, I know, right?
As we all are told.
Exactly. People telling her that she's making it up, she's saying things for attention, blah, blah, blah. And then in the first issue, or right at the beginning of the story, her sister is put in peril by magic again. And
So
all of a sudden...
there is magic in this world, so it's it exists? People know it exists? Or is that giving away something?
There's a lot there, Jen. And I spent a lot of time developing what magic is in this world.
Okay.
We have a history of magic that goes back over 1,000 years. We have a history of how magic has changed and deformed Los Angeles. Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, but it's a coming-of-age story about a woman who believed in magic and was right.
Now, not to say giving spoilers away, but how would magic affect Los Angeles? Given that, I guess we just found out that we're both from Los Angeles.
Exactly,
How
yeah.
would magic in your world?
That's a great question because I'm a very amateur Los Angeles history buff, and a lot of our idea of how magic works in the world is based on some of the formative developments in Los Angeles history. So the development of the aqueduct and bringing water to Los Angeles, the gangsters and the LAPD going against each other in the 1940s, the studio system in Hollywood, even down to the development of highways and streets and thoroughfares and how neighborhoods are defined. Why is North Hollywood, you know?
That's a good question.
Like all
So
that
good.
kind of stuff. I mean, I could go on. I could
Just
give
that
you
one street.
30 minutes about North Hollywood, but
So I'm wondering that, are we going to see glimpses of North Hollywood in the comics?
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like
brunch.
I'll give away a couple things for you because you'll be like
I'm so curious.
the Circus Liquors clown.
Oh!
Yeah. All right, I'll get it into that. I get it into the high one. Yeah. But
If you don't know what he's talking about, clueless.
Clueless.
So I'm getting the sense that both you and Jen love magic in general.
Yes.
I mean, we all grew up with like different stories of magic, different influences of magic. What would you attribute to your like biggest influence in your life in terms of like magic and like magic?
Or just like otherworldly stuff.
Yeah, like I'm a sucker for like Anne McCaffrey, like that.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta like attribute a lot of like my affinity for genre storytelling. It's funny, I was just talking about this in a different interview for Image Plus magazine, but I started having seizures when I was 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. From like 8 to 10 years old, I had about like 30 seizures, and I didn't know what a seizure was.
Oh.
Yeah, like so, and to me, it was like this crazy, intense, psychedelic, hallucinogenic experience.
gosh.
It was a wild experience I kept having over and over again, but I didn't know what a seizure was, and I couldn't describe what it looked like externally. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, I fell on the floor and my muscles were shaking.
Yeah.
Like, a doctor would be like, oh, you're having a seizure. But I was like, I see these colors and these shapes, and I hear these things, and like,
So
completely...
it's more abstract form of thinking in terms of what was happening for real.
It was just this wild, like, crazy, and...
Oh my god, that's so scary.
Like,
but beautiful at the same
yeah, I mean, just... So I'd be like sitting in the doctor's office, and like the doctor would like look at my mom, and they'd be like, "Is he an imaginative child?" And my mom kind of be like, "Yeah."
If like there's a moment where you're like, I wonder if I'm being transported right now, and it's just
I did.
Yeah.
I really did. Yeah, like over and over again. Like I had this fear that I would like go into it and I would never come back. Yeah. So it was like heavy, but it had a happy ending, and it really like I don't know. It expanded this weird vision. It's like, you know, like I know magic is in this world. I know it's there, even if you can't always see it, if you can't always point at it. Yeah.
I mean, we've all been surrounded by so many different forms of magic, and like magic orders and magic rules. Would that exist in Blackbird? Like, is there like a magic school? Is there like a magic society? Is there a magical dictator who tells you, I am throwing so many random
There
things in
are
your
all
face.
those things. It's like you're just
There's a
like
magic
nailing
school?
them one by one. You got them.
I literally just
think-
guessed that. Did not even.
I mean, I think we can say that they're somewhat patterned after the mob in a way.
Oh.
They have their own sort of shadow society, and they operate by their own rules. And they exist parallel to us. And sometimes we see them on the street, but we don't know who we're looking at. And sometimes we're in like a drugstore, but the back of the drugstore is like a whole other thing for what they do. You know what I mean? And there's also, rival gangs and rival mobs, and they have alliances that are shaky, and they have, battles for territory and all this kind of stuff. And
I see
so
the Harry Potter in that one. Yeah. Like
exactly.
the groups and
We
everything.
got magical cabals, and each cabal has their own characteristics and their own style. Of course, Jen Bartel like bringing the style every time.
Yeah, that cover's insane. I have to
yes.
say that cover's
Oh my God.
really gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
what's the overall plan for Blackbird? Like, how many issues should like
It's an
readers
ongoing
expect?
book.
Oh, is it ongoing?
It's an ongoing book, so you
Ooh.
should expect 200 issues.
So it'll just keep going forever and ever and ever. Like as Los Angeles changes, like the comic will just go along
Exactly.
with it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can have it for like different parts of Los Angeles too. There's so much area to cover.
There is. You already know these cabals in the different areas of LA and the different characteristics of different sides of Los Angeles. Like
I'm really secretly an image consultant. Like, I'm basically just feeding you ideas so you'll never
exactly.
Never just
You've been reading my scripts, is what it is.
So how has it been like working with Image and Blackbird and everything?
I love them. It's not my first time working with them. I self-published back in the day. I did a book called Our Love Is Real, and it took off, but I was like printing them 300 copies at a time and shipping them by hand and all this stuff. And Eric at Image, sent me an email. He said, "Congratulations. How can we help?" And I think that does typify what Image is all about and what it's like working with Image on a very fundamental level. The details can change, but at a fundamental level, they want to know what they can do to help. We love this idea. We love this book. We love your vision. How can we help?
So it's not going to be released until October.
That's correct.
How have the fan reactions or reactions have you received so far?
Oh my God, it's been overwhelming. We announced it Image Expo, the big Image Expo, which I had never done before. That was super exciting. Both Jen and I were there. We got on stage and talked about it, and the reaction, almost before we even got off stage, was so exciting and so overwhelming. People really latching onto it. We did the Comics Pro conference immediately after in Portland. Got to talk to a lot of retailers. Retailers, we thought we were going to have to do a lot more convincing, but retailers really saw the potential and the visuals and the Harry Potter meets Riverdale and really latched onto it. So we're thrilled. Now we have to make the damn book. But it's like
it's not even drawn yet. It's just there.
We're very excited. No, we have a lot done. Jen is really busting her ass. She's working so hard, and the pages look amazing. And by the time the first issue comes out, we're gonna be so far ahead. It's gonna be great. We're just gonna keep hitting y'all with issue after issue. Exactly.
Now I believe Jen has her own side business, or she makes a lot of enamel pins. And,
she's the queen of merch.
Yeah, it's amazing merch.
She's killing it.
I good. Jen, I'm a new fan right now.
Yeah.
So is there gonna be enamel pins associated with Blackbird?
I'm sorry, did you say an enamel pin for Blackbird?
Oh my God, I'm just guessing.
This is an enamel pin that we made for a Comics Pro attendee. And this is just a taste. There's gonna be more.
Oh, you talk about your your working relationship?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, our working relationship, it's great, and it started at the very beginning. It started before we had the characters, the story, or even the genre we were gonna work in. It all came from discussions between the two of us. There is no Blackbird without the Venn diagram of me and Jen. So, yeah, Jen will just throw out an idea. She'll text me with an idea of something she wants to draw, and I'm trying to think of an example that I can say, but I don't know if there's anything that's not a spoiler.
I think one time she said I want to draw an explosion or something.
Yeah, I want to draw an explosion, or I want to draw a crazy lion beast, and I'll just be I'll be okay, and then it'll take me a couple hours. They'll be okay. Here's the history of the beast. Here's
internalize.
Exactly. But the inspiration comes from imagining what this would look like drawn by Jen, or maybe a sketch or something like that. But it comes from I don't just want a beast. I want a cool ass looking beast for Jen to flex on, and then I want her to do amazing things for Jen to flex on.
Do you guys encourage each other? Do you guys challenge each other? What
Oh,
if
yeah.
you tried drawing this with 5, I don't know, I'm just making up things up, 5 legs and spikes or something?
I don't know about challenge, but we really do push each other, and I don't even know if push is the right word, but we spur each other on to go bigger and better, more emotional, more spectacular. We just really spur each other on to do the best book possible.
Like I said, the comic's not out till October.
October 4th, y'all.
So what would be your one final message for fans who are on the fence, to check it out?
Oh my God, you just gotta go down to your comic book store right now. You gotta hit them up on Twitter. You gotta send them an email. You just gotta pre-order it. You just gotta go for it. If you have any lingering doubts, just Google Blackbird Jen Bartel right now and look at the art. I mean, my writing, whatever, but get the artwork, look at it. You're gonna be inspired. Just go pre-order it. Do one issue. I promise you're gonna love what you get.
Well, thank you very much, Sam, for this interview. I'm so excited.